Hey everybody, it's old Chaplain V, back for another look at step number 9. We made direct amends to those persons we've harmed. Well, in the previous views on step number 9, we kind of took the attitude of having a servant's heart to make amends. And then we also kind of looked at, worldly sorrow as opposed to godly sorrow in making our amends. And this time I thought we might focus a little more on some of our families, because they know us best. They know what's really going on. Plus, our families, especially our kids, are raised by those of us that have had some very dysfunctional ways of raising our kids. What's that old saying? Kids don't learn by what their parents say. Kids learn by what their parents do. Well, in being a recovering, control freak, no impulse control. I was the happy drunk, having all those issues of dysfunctional thinking and, needing to have control and, you know, being a dictator, so to speak, and not much love and care in the family, that can have some really devastating effects on kids. Well, my wife had surgery recently due to an accident, and so the kids all came home, and of course, we can make amends to other people, but to really make amends to our family is really paramount, and I thought this would be a great opportunity to grow spiritually and to really rely upon God's grace to help me, to be show that I am a different person. I am someone that can be there for them and, to help us all grow as a family. Well, Paul the Apostle said it best. He says, why do I keep doing the things I don't want to do? And why can't I do the things I want to do? It's not me, it's the sin in me, or the emotional brains that we carry between our ears. So change doesn't happen. We talked earlier about the amygdala hijack and how, impulse control is kind of out the window when we kind of when that amygdala hijacks our dopamine cravings. And so there's a lot of issues that are taking place there that keep us from really, being effective. Like Paul the Apostle, who was a big-time apostle. I mean, you'd think he'd have it figured out, and yet he mentions it way back in the Old Testament. But there's a thing called neuroplasticity that is, Paul calls it the renewal of the mind. When we continue to practice, as best we can, stay the course, and show the love that we really have for our kids, but we had trouble showing before, we truly can make amends that will really make a difference in our families. So if we just, rely on God's grace and continue to grow, we can, restore personal relations. Well, God bless you, everybody. Thanks for watching.